Is he still going?
He'll wear himself out eventually.
Okay, maybe on a really good day, Harley's not a bad guy, but a hero is a stretch. But Poison Ivy? Seriously? Not to mention...
20 minutes later.
Frost. Just Frost. 'Cause we can't call her Killer Frost, now can we? Isn't that right, Croc? Just Croc.
2 hours later.
Principal Waller. What, does she have a detention squad or something? Is that what Harley and...
6 hours later.
And I would have been fine with it, if not for the fact that Kyle Rayner is so much closer to high school age. And that's why I give DC Superhero Girls a...
No.
But...
No.
But...
That's not a review, that's you being a whiny fanboy. Now review it proper-like.
Okay, so before I dig into Season 1 of DC Superhero Girls, I want to clarify what it is I'm reviewing. This thing, in its first iteration, is not a superhero show. It's a high school fantasy comedy with superheroes as its theme. And with that perspective, it's not bad.
But is it good?
That's the question. First thing we need to do is to look at the characters and their relationships. We're looking at this first because that's the most important thing about shows like this. Our lead is, of course, Wonder Woman. She's joined by Bumblebee, Katana, the unofficial fourth pillar of the DCU, Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy, who's basically if Twilight Sparkle was also Fluttershy. And unfortunately, most of them have had their personalities sandblasted till only a couple of amusing quirks remain. It's the AKB48 of DC Comics. Now look, if you want to see a good version of Wonder Woman, there are more than a few comics and a little movie you may have heard of. But this version isn't bad. They're trying their darndest to make her relatable.
I'm sorry, is the character not a power fantasy of some kind?
It's possible to have it both ways. I mean, they don't do it here, but you can do it. Diana basically gets lost in all her bland niceness. This also happens to just about every character, with one notable exception. Pinkie Pie. I mean Harley. On Earth 90210, or wherever this is, the Joker's #1 squeeze has gone from a deranged Stockholm victim to a playful scamp, whose practical jokes only occasionally backfire, and only hurt feelings when they do.
What a letdown.
As edgeless as she is, Harley still has a personality, and it's exciting to watch her bounce off the more reserved characters. It's certainly way more fun than seeing Wonder Woman and Bumblebee on screen together. That's a snooze fest. I understand not wanting to leap into the high drama, which can be every bit the mistake excessive harmony is. But remember, you can argue without fighting, and even friends don't get along all the time. Some of this problem would have been alleviated if the Super Chicks would have been given something interesting to do. But fair is fair, DCSG has some good ideas in this department. Such as they have fun exploring what high school is like for superheroes. But then so did Sky High, My Hero Academia, Chronicle, X-Men Evolution, Equestria Girls, Static Shock, and Spider-Man.
Original, this is not.
Also, there's sort of an ongoing subplot about Wonder Woman screwing up on tests and embarrassing herself. This is all linked back to some crazy plan by Cheetah. But make no mistake, there were no actual consequences for Diana, or any serious danger for that matter. Now let's look at the art design. It's, okay. I mean, I've seen way worse. And certain characters don't look half bad. Everyone's immediately recognizable as who they're supposed to be. And one of the most fun things about DCSG for longtime comic fans is watching the background for references.
If you can get over your fanboy rage.
Now I want to address the biggest problem with the show, at least in Season 1. Later seasons get better. The lack of villains. One of the fundamental aspects of the superhero genre is the conflict between good and evil. Without that, these characters lose a lot of what makes them work. Wonder Woman needs a force of darkness to fight in order to be a hero, and contrived crises just aren't a replacement. Finally, I'd like to compliment the show on bringing back a lot of the cast from Teen Titans. It's great to hear them reprising their roles.
You do know about Teen Titans Go, right?
Oh, silly pal. Teen Titans Go is just a scary story made up to terrify fans. Okay, now it's time to break down the good and the bad in DC Superhero Girls Season 1. On the heroic side, the characters are likable, with Harley Quinn as the clear standout. The art holds to visual tradition, and there are some fun shoutouts to the DC mythos. On the villain side, the stories are rendered dull by a distinct lack of characterization and real conflict. Character interactions are also kind of uninteresting because of lack of meaningful differentiation. So I give DC Superhero Girls a 3 out of 5. Now, if you're interested in more reviews of anime, movies, TV shows, comic books, or video games, check out my channel right here on YouTube. And find my Facebook and DeviantArt pages for video updates and more. Thank you for watching.
Hey kids, today's show is brought to you by the letter 4 and the number potato! I'm a stupid private.